Before we start this video is for educational use only. Our group allowing Mr. Roldan Ardenes to use this as an educational material. This topic is global food security. So, global food security is critical goal for global health, economic stability, and social development. It exists when all people at all times have physical and social and economic access sufficient, safe, and nutrition food that meets their dietary needs for an active and healthy lifestyle. However, achieving global food security is changing due to the multiple factors from the climate change and conflict to economic disparities and population growth. So, this topic will explore the main factors contributing food security, the specific case of Philippines during COVID-19, because COVID-19 is very challenging to the food because because of the disease or the virus is very dangerous. We have so many people die because of the virus, so it's very critical to the security of food because a lot of people is secure their own food because of the virus. He need to secure his health. That's why and COVID-19 is very hard for the food security. He check a lot of papers and also the product of the food we eat, and especially not in COVID-19. Example, the virus of the animals like kanang baboy, what kind of disease. That's why kanang he check a lot of food we eat every day. That's why it's very critical in this part in COVID-19 and the Ebola, like Ebola virus ba, and other. So core pandemic of food security is significant threats on the potential for achieving global food security. That's why this topic is very important because you need to eat every day. That's why you need to secure our food. So this topic is the main goal is to be secure our health. That's all. Thank you.
Factors leading to global food security. So, global food security exists when all people have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs for a healthy life. First, agricultural productivity. Increasing food production is an essential to meet the growing demands of an increasing population. Technological advancement in agriculture such as genetically modified organisms or GMOs and precision farming have improved crop yields. Second is economic stability and access to markets. A country's economic stability affects individuals' purchasing power and access to food. Expanding the market, establishing trade agreement can help secure food ability. Third is structure and supply chain development. Food distribution requires reliable infrastructure like transportation and storage facilities. Fourth is environmental sustainability. Sustainable practices such as crop rotation, conservation, tillage, and organic farming help protect resources and ensure the that agricultural productivity can maintain over time. So, government policies and support programs, governments play a crucial role in supporting food security through policies and assistance programs.
Good morning, sir. I am Det Cadet Lutin, and I'm going to continue the topic of Det Cadet Boat, which is food security in the Philippines during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the food security in the Philippines was severely impacted due to several factors like supply chain disruption, which result of lockdowns and restrictions of food transportation, which creating a shortage in urban areas and raising food prices. For example, the fresh produce from rural farms could not reach the cities on time, which leading to spoilage and higher prices for consumers. This result of loss of income and rising poverty cause of the rise of unemployment jobs during the COVID-19 pandemic, reducing many households to purchase food, and agricultural independent communities in rural areas were particularly affected as their income sources dwindled due to market closure. So the dependence on imports in the Philippines heavily relies on imported food staples like rice. During the pandemic, the import restriction and global supply chain issues underscored the country's vulnerability. To address this, the government introduced the program, which is Plan to boost local food production and reduce dependence on import. So these factors shows that the importance of building resilient local food system, particularly in countries like Philippines, are prone to climate change and economic disruption. That's all. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Decadet Lobitanya, and I'm going to tackle it's all about the 5 components of food security. Food security is to build on 5 interrelated components that must work together to ensure individuals have consistent access to nutrition food. One is availability. Food must be consistently available to everyone, either through domestic production, imports, or food aid program. Factors affecting availability include agriculture production, storage facilities, and market access. 2 is access. Economic and physical access to food is necessary. Households need sufficient income to infrastructure to obtain food. 3. Utilization. Food utilization is about consuming nutrition food and include access, clean water, and sanitation, as well as proper health knowledge. 4. Stability. Food security requires stability in food supply and access over time, meaning it shouldn't be affected by sudden price spikes, economic instability, or environmental shocks. And lastly, the agency. Individuals and communities should have a ability to make decision about food production and consumption. And that's all. Thank you.
My topic is about threats to global food security. First, climate change. Climate change brings not only extreme weather events but also shifting seasons, rising temperature, and changing precipitation pattern. Crops that were once reliable might struggle to grow in new conditions, and key agricultural regions may face reduced yields and even crops failure. Second, rapid population growth and urbanization. As the global population rapidly growing, food demand is expected to grow by over 50%. Rapid urbanization compounds this. As rural population move to city, changing pattern of food demand and strengthening urban food supply system. Urbanization also lead to the loss of agricultural land, reducing the area available for food production and shifting the burden to a smaller area to feed a growing population. Third, complex and political instability. Political instability, armed conflict, and violence disrupt every link in the food supply chain. Production, transportation, and distribution. Syria, Yemen, and South Sudan have experienced devastating food shortage due to ongoing conflicts as farmers abandon field, supply chains are broken, and market access is cut off. Economic inequality and food access disparities. Even when food is available, economic inequality can limit access, particularly in regions with high poverty rates. Many low-income households spend a significant portion of their income on foods, making them especially vulnerable to price increases. Economic crisis, inflation, and unemployment like those seen during COVID-19 pandemic can sharply reduce people purchasing power, pushing more into food insecurity in many developing countries. Food prices rise faster than income, creating a growing gap between availability and accessibility. 5. Environmental degradation and loss of biodiversity. Unsustainable farming practices contribute to soil degradation, deforestation, of loss of the biodiversity. For instance, of Amazon rainforests, often called the lungs of the earth, and being deforested as an alarming rate to create farmland. This loss not only harms to climate but also reduce biodiversity essential to resilient food system. Lost crop and livestock diversity makes food supply more vulnerable to distresses and pests of which could wipe out entire food sources in reliance on few species of varieties. That's all. Thank you.
Morning, sir. I am Decadet Supot and I'm going to continue the topic of Decadet Umela. Health crisis and pandemics. Health crises like COVID-19 disrupt the entire food system from production to retail. The pandemic led to labor shortage in agriculture, interruption in transport, and limitation on food processing and retailing. For low-income populations, these disruptions meant less access to affordable food, especially fresh produce and proteins. Next is food waste and loss. Approximately one-third of all food produced globally is lost or wasted either in fields during transportation or at the consumer level. In developing countries, much food is lost post-harvest due to a lack of storage, processing, or transport facilities. Meanwhile, in developed countries, large amounts of food are wasted at the retail and consumer levels. Dependence on global trade and market fluctuations. Globalization has made many countries reliant on import for key foods like rice, wheat, and corn. Changes in international trade policies, exports bans, or market disruption can lead to sudden shortage or prices hike spikes as seen in the 2008 and 2022 global food price crisis. Next is rising cost of agricultural inputs. The cost of inputs like fertilizer, seeds, and fuel has been rising, making food production more expensive and often unaffordable for small-scale farmers. High prices for inputs reduce productivity, particularly for farmers in low-income countries who cannot afford this cost.
Is food security possible? Food security is indeed possible, requiring a multifaceted approach that includes sustainable agricultural practices, economic development, effective government policies, global cooperation, community engagement, and climate change adaptation. Innovations in farming and infrastructure can enhance food production and distribution, while supportive policies and programs can help vulnerable populations access nutritious food. Strengthening local food systems and empowering communities with knowledge is vital, as is fostering international trade and collaboration to ensure food availability. By addressing these challenges through coordinated efforts, we can create resilient and sustainable food systems capable of meeting the needs of all people.